All right, everyone. It looks like 3 times is a charm. Welcome to day 20 of the Vet Your Spending Challenge. I am your host, facilitator, and creator of the Vet Your Spending Challenge. Super excited to be before you guys on the Debt Demolisher TV. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in, and I am not going to waste any further or additional time. So with today, I really want to be able to just have you guys really come to a space of really thinking about establishing those boundaries and establishing them from a space whereby we can be able to hold conversations in a healthy manner when it comes to what we will and what we will not do during this holiday season. Because again, if you said yes to this challenge, if you are here, then that means that you chose to do it differently. And because you chose to do it differently, I want to help facilitate and ensure that you're able to navigate, and not only navigate, but operate in your space of doing it differently. So with that, let me see who is in the room and let me say hello before I jump in. It looks like Acacia's in the building. Hi, hello, Acacia. Hey, Q Scott. Q Scott is in the building. I'm super excited that you guys are here on tonight and on today. Here's what I really learned when it comes to this space of communicating about our wants and communicating about what we will and what we will not do based on the intentions that we've set, based on the purpose that we set, based on the vision that we've created for ourselves. Sometimes it can be very hard to state your position in a way where it will be received by the other person. So today, I really want us to focus on how can we position ourselves to not fall into the guilt trap and not fall into the pressures of us giving in to something based on what someone else said that they wanted. Now, a couple of days ago, I had you guys go and ask people what they specifically wanted for the holidays. You had an opportunity to receive that information, hear them out. You had an opportunity to compare that against your listing of what you plan to give them. Not only that, you had an opportunity to really reflect on your holiday vision, your holiday purpose, your holiday requirements, your holiday intentions, and what the holidays truly represents for you now as you move into this space. But here is the point that I feel like is really necessary for us to do. And that is, how can we stop allowing other people to dictate our pockets? And the only way that you can do that is if you position yourself to have healthy upfront communication and doing it in a way where you can clearly state what your purpose is, clearly state what your vision is, clearly state what your intention is for this holiday season, so that the person who you are planning to give it to, or the person who shared what their wants or what their desires were for you, that they can understand that you as the budget creator, you as the money holder, you as the money spender, you have the final say so of what you do with your resources and how you choose to spend it. So one of the methods that I want to be able to share with you guys today is to help you with building and creating that conversation. And not only building out that conversation, but putting it into practice. So we are starting number one, or step one out of 3, because this piece is going to continue over the next couple of days. And we're going to start with setting the stage. How can we set the stage for proper communication around our gift giving strategy and our gift giving approach, so that way we can make sure that the expectations that others may have upon us and our money, that we are able to mitigate that. We are able to be clear about that. We are able to let them know upfront, hey, this is where I am, this is why, and this is what it's going to be. And understanding the fact that you have made goals and you have set intentions and you have creative visions, and it should be respected, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to create boundaries in that regard. So what we're focusing on today for day 20 of the Vet Your Spending Challenge is for you to be able to begin to develop your response script. So your response script is part 1 of the phase of setting the stage. And so you do this, and an easy way for us to do this is just to implement a prep model, because I know that there are instances whereby some people just can't say no. You know, some people aren't bold enough to say no to people when it comes to gifts and when it comes to gift giving. People fall into that guilt trap. And that is what causes us to get into the space of, let me back off of what I said, and let me just go ahead and do it and give in without fully communicating our stance and our position. So in order for us to do that, I want to share with you guys a method, and this is a method that I use to help with my communication, to share my point, regardless of who I'm speaking to. And so this introduction that I'm sharing with you guys is called the PrEP model. Now, the PrEP model is designed, of course, it's an acronym, and so it's designed to give you a way to create and develop your own response script. And of course, you're going to formulate it to your own liking. But again, you're just going to take the pieces and the elements of the model so that way you can be able to build your own. And this is going to become extremely important for those of you who have children, for those of you who know that children have expectations around what it is that they expect to get around the holidays and what it is that they expect to get during the seasons or birthdays or whatever the case may be. We want to be able to begin to manage those expectations up front. And the only way to manage those expectations up front is through effective communication and being willing to have those conversations. So I see CW is in the room saying good evening. Hello, CW. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just getting started. So when it comes to your PrEP model, you guys, you want to start with the P, and that is to pretty much state your case or state your stance or state your position. And in order to do that, you have to make your point. So the P stands for the point. So how can you state your stance? How can you make your point in terms of where you stand in this time, how you stand and where you stand with your approach and your thoughts when it comes to this season go around, and how you plan or not to plan to give gifts in this season. And then the R stands for you being able to indicate your rationale. So when you indicate your rationale, you're going to put in your reason. So the R stands for the reason. So you're going to be able to state, this is why you developed this as your purpose or your outline, or these are the things that I want to be able to cover, and this is why. So you're going to be able to state your point, and then you're going to be able to back it up with your reason. And this is the main reason why I had you guys build out your visions, build out your intentions, build out your purpose, so that you could be very clear on these things, so that you can be able to communicate it, and not only communicate it, but understanding the fact that it will ring true solely for you. I see Sherry's in the building. Hey, Sherry, welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, after you've been able to identify, you've been able to state your point, you've been able to support it with your rationale and with your reasoning. Next, you want to actually go into providing an example. What can you use to back up that statement? And when you go into providing a case in point, which is the same thing as an example, it can look a little something like this. And I'm actually going to run through it so that you guys can see. We're following the PrEP model. So point, reason, example, and then point, summarize, and pose question at the end. But let me just run through it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So for example, we can say, okay, so whoever you're choosing to speak to, you can sit your family down, you can sit your children down, you can sit whoever down, or you can even make it a phone conversation. And you can say, okay, this year I've decided, or I've taken the position to hold myself accountable to my finances. And I've taken the position to limit the amount of gifts that I'm given this holiday season. And the reason for this change, or the reason for this position, is because my intention for the holiday season is to not only demonstrate love and appreciation to you through my physical presence, but I also want to be able to do it through other means. And I also want to be able to share and allow you all to see that the tangible gift that I give you does not equate to the actual love that I have for you. And so my goal is to ensure that I am positioning not only you, but I'm positioning my household, or I'm positioning myself, whoever you want to use in the scenario, in a more healthier manner. And I want to do this in a way where I can minimize waste. And here's an example. Last year, I noticed that I had given this gift to X, Y, and Z. Or last year, I realized I had given you this toy, or I had given you this device. And within a year, within 6 months, or within 2 months, it's broken, or it's sitting up in the closet and it's not being used. And so one of the things that I want to do is making sure that we are entering into the space of the holidays for a reason, and not just for the act or the thing of giving. We want to be more intentional with what we're giving and making sure that it is going to be personable for you to use. Right. So I just ran through the example. And now, once you've ran through the example, you've been able to state your point, you've been able to state your reason, you've been able to give an example of what are some things you saw was wasteful, because you even went back and talked to people and asked them, what did they do with the gift that they gave you? Some of you got really good responses, whereby your family members came back, or those who you had given things to was like, oh yeah, I still use it. I love it. I appreciate it. Some people were told that they don't use it. They gave it away. It's been thrown away. They don't know where it is. Some people actually probably had their stuff returned. So when you look at it from that perspective, now you want to go back and you want to close out with reiterating your position. And then not only that, asking them the question. So you can summarize your point, and then you can pose your question to them. This will allow you to have your opportunity to build your rebuttal. This was one of the things that came up early on when I was saying, you're going to ask this to such and such, you're going to ask this to X, Y, and Z, and you're not going to say anything. You're just going to listen. Now, this is your chance to build your rebuttal. Now, this is your chance to be able to communicate what it is that you want to be able to share in a healthy manner. You don't have to do it with an attitude. You don't have to do it with any snap or sass or whatever. It's just reflecting on the information that I have gathered, going through this process. If you want to blame it on this process, feel free to blame it on this process, but you're still going to take accountability for the intentions and for the vision and for the purpose that you set, because you want to be able to honor your intention. You want to be able to honor your vision. You want to be able to honor what it is that you set out to do, which was what you worked on yesterday in terms of tying your holiday requirements, your purpose, your vision, your intention to not only that, but to the items that are on your gift list, to make sure that they were in alignment. So now that you've been able to test this piece, now you want to be able to go back and communicate what your position is, so that you can limit those expectations and really be clear on, hey, this is where I stand and this is what I'm going to do. And then you give them an opportunity to ask a question if they want to. So you could go back and say, once you summarize and close out your point and you pose the question, you can ask them, do you have any questions for me? Are there any concerns? What do you think? Now, this is going to be your time to kind of hear back from them, but still giving them the space to speak, but not allowing it to change your perspective. So when we're going through this stage of setting the stage, you're building out your response script, because you want to build it out in a way where you can have an effective communication, but still get your point across and not have it be overtaken by someone else's emotion. And so you're doing this from a space of non-emotion. You're doing this from a space of what is true for you. You're doing this from a space of what you committed and what you said yes to in this season, what your vision was, what your purpose was, what your intentions are, and making sure that you're honoring that. And then when you honor it, you have to communicate it to others, so that that guilt won't come into play, so that you won't have to deal with the fact of the feeling or the reaction of a letdown. So we want to begin to communicate this stuff early on as much as possible in order to get everybody on the same page. Now, again, I told you guys that this is just part one. So there are other parts that's going to be to this setting the stage, but this is just part one of it. But the first piece is developing your response script. So let me see what's going on in the chat. All right. Q Scott is saying, wow, that's a wonderful scenario. CW is saying it really was. CW is saying my son did the same thing a few years ago. He let us know he valued enjoyable phone calls over gifts. Now that he had a family, he was not going to give monetary gifts. Yeah, you see that? Prime example. You got to be willing to stand up and say, hey, this is my priority. This is where I stand. This is my position, and communicate it so that people will know. Because if you don't make it clear, then people are going to have their own expectations. And then when their expectations aren't met, that is where the friction comes into play. So if you can communicate where you stand and allow people to know this is where you are and this is what you've seen, and have evidence to support it and back it up, can't nobody get mad at that. Nobody can get mad at that, period. So I want to encourage you guys to get the communication going ahead of time so that we can manage these expectations more effectively and more fluently, especially when it comes to children. So I really want to stress that as well. All right. So Q Scott is saying the previous assignment absolutely did tie in very well to this. Now I see how the rebuttal comes into play. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. The rebuttal now comes now. But before you jump into rebuttal, you have to really be clear on what is it that you're going to say. Because a lot of times when we jump into these initial conversations, we could be triggered. Our emotions can be triggered by what they said. And this is why I had you guys just listen and just take note of what they said, so that way you can chew on it later. Now you can use exactly what they said as support, as evidence, as examples as to why you are now choosing to do whatever it is, because you have a clear example, facts of what somebody had given you, and you've been able to internalize that for yourself and say, hey, this is my stance, with no attitude, no sass, no anything. This is just where I am, and it is what it is. And then you give them an opportunity to ask a question if they would like. So what I want you guys to do to really focus on, because you are going to open up the floor for them to ask you questions. So you want to be able to prepare yourself to begin to think about, okay, what are some of the questions that could potentially come up? And now for me, I can't give you all of that right now, but I want you to begin to think about it, because you're going to need it for part 2. Hint, hint. You're going to need it for part 2. And then so Q Scott is saying, that's very nice, to CW. Yep. And then CW says, I think our lead will help others who feel the same, but don't know how to address it. Come on, CW. Let me tell you something. You just dropped a whole word. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you make yourself open enough to have those conversations, and this is the whole reason why I'm doing this, you guys, because I want the communication to happen. And a lot of times people won't fall or follow suit if they don't see that it's being done. So if you aren't willing to open up and have that communication and stand firm in what it is that you said, stand firm in what you said your vision and your intention was, and you honor that thing, you will highly see that people will follow suit. Now, it may not happen right away, but once they see the consistent pattern of it, yeah, they're going to be like, you know what? That's real. That's really real. I'm going to see if I can incorporate that piece too. And that's really what I want you guys to be able to do. Take this communication, take these things that you're learning, and take it back to your households. Take it back to the ones that you know. Take it back to whoever you feel could potentially use it. But don't just give it to them from a teaching standpoint. Give it to them from a practice standpoint. So you can always show them better than you can tell them. So if you want people to really follow the lead, like CW said, you have to lead. So you have to execute in it. So I love what you said, so CW, so thank you. And Q Scott is in agreement with you. She's saying yes, she agrees. CW saying thanks. Acacia is saying true. Brittany is saying, hey, Brittany. Hey, Brittany, good to see you. Brittany is saying this is good stuff, very helpful information. I definitely need to use this with my kids. Yes. And this will give them an opportunity to think through things, ask questions, and understand that there is more to just getting gifts for the holiday season or for any occasion, for birthday or whatever. We really want to be able to have this dialogue and introduce the conversations and do it in a healthy way where the conversations can be held from a non-emotional space. Okay, so CW is saying knowing our true intentions will help us avoid having an attitude. Yep. And Brittany is in agreement with you. She's saying, CW, you are so right. All right, you guys. So let me pull up your growth work assignment. It looks like you guys are doing pretty good. I hope I gave you guys a good example. I just wanted to share that just a little bit because I think it's important for you guys to be able to kind of see what I'm talking about. So when I'm breaking down models and when I'm breaking down methods, I just kind of throw in an example, and I just came up with that off the top of my head. But as you guys begin to think about things, you will be able to come up with your own, and you want to make it personalized to you, which is why you've been journaling about stuff, which is why you've been interviewing people, which is why you've been asking questions and literally getting their language and getting what it is that they're saying so that you can have something to back up your statements. So let me go to the card for day 20. Okay, so your growth work for day 20 of the Bet Your Spending Challenge, where we are getting you money conscious and in control over your finances during this holiday season. You are going to begin drafting your script to respond to the people who may want gifts from you. You already know it because you had already talked to them, and some of them told you what they wanted. Some of them told you what they wanted, and you probably already got stuff and it is in alignment. Some of you already got stuff and it's not in alignment. And some of you are taking things back, which is totally fine. So again, we're still vetting. And you're using this piece to continue to vet. But I want you to really begin to really craft out your own script and have it prepared so that in the event you don't get somebody something that they said that they wanted, you have a way to go through the conversation using non-emotional dialogue. And in order for you to be able to do that, you can use this prep model. Remember what I said, the prep model is what? Make your point, make your stance, state your case, state your stance, make your position, make your point. Then you're going to do the R, you're going to indicate your rationale, and you're going to provide your reasoning. Then once you do that, you're going to give an example. That's the E. You're going to give an example to support your reason and to support your point. And then after that, you're going to reiterate your point. You're going to reiterate your position, and you're going to pose a question to them. So that's what the two P's are for. One is for reiterating your point, so point summarized, and then the other P is for you to pose a question to them. And your question can be whatever it is that you want your question to be to them, but you do want to give them an opportunity to be able to respond. So you ask them that question. Now, when it comes to the second bullet down here, this is where I really want you guys to begin to think of all of the things your gift requesters, and we're calling them gift requesters because they're the person that's asking you for stuff. So you want to think of all of the things that your gift requesters may say to persuade you, or not only to persuade you, but to guilt trip you into getting whatever it is that they said that they wanted for them. Because we know that our children are sometimes the main culprits of wanting to encourage us or guilt trip us or do the sad face in order to get what they want. And even sometimes adults, sometimes our parents be doing that too. So you want to think of all of those questions, and then you want to ask yourself, how does your script stand up against whatever argument that they plan to ask? And then really see how would you respond considering the prep model that I just shared with you guys. So when you think about your conversations and when you think about the step one of setting the stage, day 20 of the Bet Your Spending Challenge, you're really going to be focusing on building out your script, developing your script using the prep model, and then thinking about what are some of the things that they may do or say that could cause me to backtrack on what I said, that could cause me to renege on what my holiday purpose was, or would cause me to give in to someone else's needs or desires or wants or feelings and allow them to dictate our pockets yet again. So you want to be in a stance where you are positioning yourself strong so that you won't fall into the guilt trip, and you can remain, what's the word I'm looking for? You can remain true. That's the word I'm looking for. You can remain true to the intentions, the values, the purpose that you set out for this holiday season. All right. So are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay. All right. I don't see any questions. Okay. Good. All right. Knowing your intentions, true intentions will help us avoid having an attitude. See that Brittany is saying, CW, you are so right. CW is saying thanks and hey. Okay. So that is all that I have for you guys today. And I do want to do another giveaway. And I'm doing another giveaway just because I know that yesterday was kind of heavy, and I know that there were some folks who were going through a lot, not only maybe emotionally, mentally, just a lot of personal things going on. And one of the things that I always enjoy to do to help boost morale and to just really show people some form of support, show people some form of care, show people some form of thoughtfulness is being willing to celebrate and acknowledge them. And not only that, just being willing to like pour into them a little bit. So I said, let me go ahead and do another drawing for today, and do that drawing for today from a space whereby I see people putting in the effort. So you guys have been coming here day after day. You guys have been following up. You've been communicating in the chat. You have been catching up. Sherry, you have been doing amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm just like, wow, Sherry ain't playing. She's getting this stuff in. When I tell you Sherry's getting caught up, she's getting all the way caught up. So I just love to see your submissions, and I do want to acknowledge you for that. And I just want to encourage you to continue to keep putting in the work and keep doing what you need to do, because at the end of the day, this process is essentially for you, and it's not really for me, because this is for you. This is for you and your growth and the experience that you really want to have out of this. So when I think about the selection that I made for today, I am going to announce a winner. And let me pull this up for a second. So the fourth winner of the Vet Your Spending Challenge is, drum roll, Coach Natisha. Now, I know Coach Natisha may not be in the room today, because we all know yesterday she had some issues and some challenges with her daughter, and her daughter being in the hospital. And I'm just praying, and we are all praying, that all is well, and that all is supported, and that whatever is happening, that your daughter is strengthened, recovered, healed, moving forward, just like everyone was saying yesterday in the chat. But Coach Natisha, I just wanted to acknowledge you for all of your efforts, all of the support that you give, your selfless giving in terms of, supporting other people in the chat. You come in consistently, you're catching up on your growth work, you're submitting your work, you're asking questions, you're being very detailed in your responses, very transparent, which is absolutely amazing. You showed your commitment, and you said, no matter what, I'm going to do this. Even if I can't do it on the same timeline, it's going to get done. And I'm seeing that you putting in your work. I see the emails that you submit. I see your growth work assignments that you put in. And so, Coach Natisha, I just wanted to take this time to acknowledge you. I know you're going to catch the replay, but I would really like for everybody to please give Coach Natisha a whole bunch of love, and let's celebrate her for being the fourth winner of the Vet Your Spending Challenge. Well deserved, well deserved, well deserved, Coach Natisha. Let's see what's going on in the chat. CW is saying Coach deserves this. She is always so supportive. Ain't she though? Ain't she? She's always so supportive. Acacia is saying congratulations. Q Scott is saying, Coach Natisha, she's giving you all the confetti. She's giving you all the confetti. Brittany is saying congratulations, and Sherry is saying congrats, Coach Natisha. So Coach Natisha, we are celebrating you. We are celebrating you, and we just want to acknowledge you for all that you are doing. And with that, I know you're going to catch this replay. So let me go ahead and show you what you finna get. Okay. Let me show you what you're finna get. Let me show you what you're finna get. Hey, 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 hey. Let me show you what you're finna get. Let me show you what you're finna get. Okay, so Coach Natisha is getting, are y'all ready to see what Coach is getting? So Coach is getting, let me share screens for a second. Coach is getting access to the Sophia Melone Financial Education Kit. Now, this education kit includes the homeownership ebook guide that I released at the beginning of the year, not at the beginning of the year, it was actually a couple months ago in April. The homeownership, the five steps to get it and own it when it comes to homeownership. She's also going to get the My Budget Outline spreadsheet that also comes with the tutorial of how to utilize the Excel version of the workbook. She is also going to get the Fin Switch. So the Fin Switch comes inside of this financial education kit. And I know CW was the first winner of the challenge, and that was the first gift that was given away, the Fin Switch 52 weeks of transformational financial inspiration audiobook experience. And then the other thing that's included inside of this kit is a 2-hour masterclass private training on how to master your money relationship to demolish debt. So these 4 items comes inside of the financial education kit. And this was the item that was selected for today. And not only that, Coach is also getting a one-on-one session. So in addition to the financial education kit, she is also getting a one-on-one virtual coaching session with me that she can utilize and that she can schedule at her own regard. And this was the same thing that Acacia won. When Acacia won her prize, she got the one-on-one virtual coaching call. And so for the purposes of the drawing today, I did a combo, and I feel like Coach Natisha is very deserving of both of these, the education kit as well as the one-on-one coaching. So Coach Natisha, this is your giveaway prize. You have been doing amazing. We just want to continue to celebrate you and let you know that we appreciate all of the support that you give to us and that you bring into the space and that you bring into the room every time that you are here. So Coach Natisha, we are celebrating you, and we just want to say thank you for all that you do and let you know that you have been selected as the 4th Vet Your Spending Challenge winner. So you are getting a lot of love in the chat. CW is clapping it up and doing fireworks. Sherry is giving you lots of hearts. Acacia is saying awesome, congratulations. Sherry is also saying all right now. CW is saying Coach Natisha will love that Fin Switch audio. It's amazing. Yay! I'm so glad you're loving it. It is a top seller because people really do love the audiobook experience. And then so CW is saying, wow, a double bonus. And Q Scott is saying, wow. So yes, Coach Natisha, these are your prizes. You are the 4th Vet Your Spending Challenge winner. And so I'm pretty sure you're going to be super excited once you catch the replay. You will be receiving email communications in regards to access to the financial education kit, as well as what you can do to go ahead and schedule and redeem your one-on-one coaching session with moi. So you guys, that is all that I have for you all. If there aren't any questions, I just want to encourage you guys to go ahead and get started on developing your scripts. If you guys have been taking notes, you should have mapped out your P, your R, your E, your P, and your P, because we are working on this prep model. Am I right or am I wrong? And your prep model is designed to really, really, really help you guys get into that space of setting the stage right. And I'm going to say this again, we want to set the stage right so that the communication can happen early on. And we got to let people know that we have to manage their expectations. We have to manage their expectations up front. And so I want to ask you if you are ready to communicate with those who may be expecting gifts from you this year, or who may be expecting a particular item from you this year. Because since you asked them what they wanted, 9 times out of 10, they really gonna have an expectation that you're gonna give it to them. So again, with this 3-part phase, this is part 1. Start working on your script, because you know that we're going to build on this tomorrow, and then we're going to build on this on the day after that. So get started on your growth work, and I will see you guys tomorrow for day 21 of the Vet Your Spending Challenge. Keep up the great work, and y'all know what to do. Get on into this prep model, start developing your script, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. The growth work card is going to be posted on the community page. And then for those of you who are registered, you will definitely get the replay, as well as your next savings challenge tip, which is savings challenge tip number 13. Okay, so that's it, you guys. Let's go. So CW is saying, as we put our intention into the prep, it will become a seamless conversation. Yes, it will. It sure will. It sure will. And I can't wait to hear how it actually goes once you put it into practice. Because you're going to have to put it into practice, but that's coming. That's coming. That's coming. Just start working on your script for now. All right, y'all. Good night. Good night, Sherry. Good night, CW. Good night, Q Scott. Good night, Brittany. Good night, Acacia. Good night, everybody that's in the room. Did I miss anybody? I think that was everybody. Yeah. Acacia, Q Scott, Sherry, CW. Yes, Brittany. Okay. All right, y'all. Good night. And again, congratulations, Coach Letitia. I'm pretty sure you're going to be excited once you catch this replay. All right, y'all.